Joined again here on Next by Aurora Mayor Steve Hogan, talking about the R line, your shiny new rail line through Aurora that next to nobody is riding.
Yep.
Why?
Well, I think there are a number of reasons. First and foremost probably is people still don't know that it's open and operating.
Okay, hold on.
It was behind budget. It was 2 months behind budget.
You can't miss the thing.
Schedule. Well, the line was there for almost a year with nothing running on it. So, you know, we have RTD that does a good job at building things, but doesn't seem to do a good job at advertising the fact that they exist. Maybe we've got a little bit of blame. Maybe we could have helped some. But on the other hand, we also poured almost $10 million into infrastructure like parking lots and other things to help RTD and help the R line. And so it's unfortunate. And what's equally bad is it's not the R line. It's the west side of the metro area. It's the north side of the metro area. And here we are trying to get Amazon to the Denver metro area. And part of our pitch is we are so well linked and we are so good about getting people around. And we're going to cut service?
I mean, have an issue with RTD as a municipality, take a number, get in line.
Yeah.
What could Aurora actually practically do? You can't stop these cuts from happening. You've got no clawback for all the money that you put into the project. You just have to ask them nicely not to cut service.
We do. And we have to point out to them that there have been a whole bunch of things planned based upon what we thought they were going to do. And some of them are already moving. I mean, there are, what, almost 1,000 housing units that are currently under construction. Another 1,500 behind that that have already been approved and are ready to break ground. And another 1,000 behind that that are in the approval process. And they're all along that line.
Have you heard about any developers pulling out or scaling back projects?
No, but we've had a lot of developers point out that they are building what are known as TOD projects. TOD projects have less in the way of parking spaces, for example. They have less parking spaces because the expectation is that the people who live there are going to use light rail. Well, if there's less service, they're less likely to use light rail, and then they're stuck with no parking spot for their car.
Why not scale back the service now with demand being low, and then once those units come online and there's more people there, then scale it back up?
That might have made sense when we had the opportunity to talk about that, but instead of notice, for example, that it wasn't being used as much as people thought it was, instead of that kind of thing and let's talk about it, it was instead, this is our decision and this is what we're going to do. It kind of makes it hard to talk about, negotiate on, be comfortable with it, but that's RTD.
Is there a broader issue that we should be talking about with public transit in our community? We poke a lot of fun at the A-line around here. The A-line by far is the most ridden rail line in the system.
Yes, it is.
People love it. It's quite reliable. It's just not as reliable as they want it to be. Is there a systemic issue with the way that RTD interacts with its riders, with the cities that keep it afloat, with taxpayers that needs to change?
I think so. If you count the counties, there are about 50 governmental jurisdictions, cities and counties in this Denver metro area. That's an opportunity for RTD to have 50 partners instead of 50 adversaries. And if we could just sit down and have a conversation about what comes next, rather than reacting to whatever recommendation or decision they're making, I think we'd all be better off.
I want to ask you one more question. You brought up Amazon. So Amazon wants to come to a thriving city with great quality of life, a connected region. Certainly we qualify as that. You hear Denver, Denver, Denver. They also want a lot of space, which Denver does not have a ton of unless you're going out by the airport.
Right.
If Amazon comes to the Denver region, what are the chances it ends up in your city?
I think they're pretty good. We already have them in Aurora. We've got 1.5 million square feet of Amazon distribution space. We've got water, we've got sewer, we've got 2 interstate highways, we've got 2 airports that we sit next to. I think we'll be on the short list.
Are you talking to people?
We are talking to people.
And what is the line for you between here are the incentives that we should roll out for Amazon, and then sorry, won't give you this?
Well, what we talk about is what I would expect most people would talk about. The region, Colorado, come here. It's great. It doesn't get any better. We've got the educated workforce. We've got opportunities for recreation and everything else beyond work. We talk about that first, and then we talk about, here's Aurora. Here's what we have, and you've got an unparalleled opportunity to build here.
Are you willing to give them the store, though? I mean,
no, you don't give away the store. You figure out what you can do to come close to what they're looking for, and then you say, we've reached the end of the negotiations.
Last question. Based on your experiences with them so far, are their demands or their requests reasonable?
So far, they're reasonable.
All right. Aurora Mayor Steve Hogan, thank you so much for coming by. Look forward to having you here again.
Thanks.